Shalom, 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 shalom. First and foremost, giving infinite praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushua by Hashem, Wachakodash, and giving double honors to our apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom and salutation to all you sincere Akim across the four winds, pushing us truth with sincerity of heart. I'm your fellow servant, Kasama God from the DC camp, coming at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushua by Hashem, Wachakodash, the feet of the elect. Now, Lord willing, this will be a quick lesson, really going into, of course, the times that we're living in as we inching closer and closer to the collapse of Babylon's economy. All right, as we know, the war, the 12-day war basically came to a pause, ceasefire between Israel, the state of Israel, which is really Amalek, of the tribe of Amalek of the house of Edom, Esau, the so-called white race, and the Persians, all right, Elam, Iran, okay, and just like as the scripture stated, that society, that we will have wars and rumors of wars, but the end is not yet. Because what? Because societies have to collapse. Nation shall rise against nation, meaning racial wars, civil unrest. These things have to happen. The economy the economies, worldwide economies, have to collapse. Right? So that the MOTB, the microchip, could be installed. So now we're going into that phase where, the next shoe to drop is the collapse of the economy, basically, of the markets. And, I wanted to touch on the topic of preparations. Should you prepare or should you not prepare? Should you just, that topic? Because, sometimes there's a misunderstanding sometimes, because we talk about faith. The thing is believing Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. I mean, that's we already know that how you're going to be helped and how you're going to be saved is going to be through faith. And if you're a part of the elect, the 144,000, the 1/3, all right. If you're a part of the elect, you're going to be all right. Now, should you have a level of preparation still yet? Well, yes, you should, because, the scripture is balanced, all right. And the Lord teaches us discretion, and he teaches us to be prudent and to be balanced. He also teaches us to not be over wicked much nor over righteous much. All right, so you don't want to be a fool. You don't want to be foolish. When we given these prophecies to know what's going to happen before it happens. Therefore, we have foresights, and I'm going to bring precepts to show you that the preparation, it's is really spiritual and mental first and foremost. And on the flip side, there's a slight preparation that you can do. Like, it's nothing wrong with having a kit where you have emergency things. Because like I said, shit is about to get rough out here, especially in the early stages. Because a lot of the preparation that you might have to do, let's say you might get some water or whatever, some fuel, stuff like that for the next couple of weeks when you see people going out in these stores looting. And because it's not going to take long. I mean, the first 2 weeks when this thing really, the market starts to collapse, people they're going to rush into the stores and get enough to last them for like a week or two. But these people eat so much, the way that they eat and everything like that, it should take about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and these people are going to be right back out there to the empty shelves. And you're going to have wars. You're going to have actual, civil unrest. People are going to fight. People are going to be elbowing each other, and there's going to be shootouts and things like that. So you don't, all hell breaking loose. You don't want to get out there week 2 of all hell breaking loose and you already out there elbowing people in a mall, because you're trying to buy some water because you got literally no water in the house. So that's just foolish. All right. So you have to understand the balance and don't be like, well, I don't need water in my house. I don't need anything in my house at all. Even though the Lord is telling you that, okay, I'm about to shut this shit down. When he's telling you to do that, he's, does he have to spell everything to you and say, yeah, you might want to go grab, a little bit more water for your household. Like, he's giving you the foresight for a reason. The rest of that, he's going to protect you from, the carnage and so on and so forth. And eventually, even the water that you guys going to run out. That's when the Lord is really going to show us as might. But to be out there first couple of weeks of all hell breaking loose and you out there, scrapping with people, you know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to get stuff like you knew it was coming. So that's what this lesson is about. It's about just understanding that There's nothing wrong with slight preparation. Scripture speaks about that, and you don't. It doesn't mean that you lack faith, all right? Because you saw the evil as a prudent, and you're hiding yourself from the evil, just as the scripture said. Now let's look up the word preparation. Um, it said preparation. It says act of preparing or making ready. All right, and keep that two words right there, making ready or to make ready. All right. It says preliminary act or operation. All right. Bam, 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 to make, all right, making ready. And like I said, when the scripture speaks about preparations, um, really it has to do with having, a foresight. When you have foresight, all right, you look up the word foresight. It says the ability to predict or the action of predicting what will happen or be needed in the future. All right. So when you know that, hey, when this thing hit the fan, um, you know, the Strait of Hormuz, Iran is going to do their thing with the Strait of Hormuz. That's going to really down the markets. You're going to have false flag operations that's going to take place. All right. Whether it be, again, whether the false flag operation is, actual foreign terrorists that are allowed by the government to do their thing, or you can have the government set it up. I mean, false flag is not necessarily the government, doing something to their own. Sometimes it's the government, following, tracking terrorists and basically giving them the green light, basically not interrupting their plans and allowing them to do things so that they could use that as a pretext to do what they have to do, which is usually go to war. Right. So that's kind of what false flags are. So when these things happen, it's going to shake the market. And you're going to have all kinds of issues. And you just really want to be at home when this shit hit the fan. You don't, first 2-3 weeks, you don't want to be out there, man, in the chaos that's going to ensue. You want to be at home and watch this shit go down, man. So that's why you need a slight preparation, for your household. Because again, this is the end of the world. So we gotta be in a mindset of it. We have to act like it. You can't talk about, well, this is the end of the world, but then you moving around like it's 1999 and shit. Like, you either believe it's the end of the world or you don't. And if you do, you gotta act like it. The scripture says, what matter of man should you be in them times? Do you have the mindset of a person who understands that he's living in the last days and the end of the world? Or do you just speak it, but then your mindset is as if it's still 1990? This is 2nd Ezra 16:40. It says, oh, my people, hear my word, make you ready for the battle. All right. See, to make ready, that's called preparation. All right. And the preparation is spiritually, mentally. Those are the primary ways that we prepare, spiritually, mentally. And then the carnal aspect, I would say the physical aspect, the carnal aspect is on a slight level, like bodily exercise. The scripture never said don't exercise. It just says no, not to put your faith on it. The scripture never said, well, don't go and grab extra water, because oh hell, it's gonna break it loose. Just don't put your faith on it. Don't believe that whatever you grab is gonna last, because the end of the world is not just gonna fucking last 4 weeks or like 3 months or 4 months. Yeah, it's gonna go fast, but it's not just gonna be 4 months and then you have all hell breaks loose and 4 months later you have a shot. It's not gonna be like that, bro. Like, it's gonna be some pain and suffering out here, man. It's gonna be dragged out just a little bit for the people that to get judged. And that's when all the little stuff that you got right now, all of that will be gone by then. That's when the Lord is really, you're going to see the might of the Lord. But you have to have enough preparation not to not be out there week 2 of chaos and you out there like elbowing people in the store. When you have the foresight, that shit was going to go left. It's very critical. We enter into these times, man. All right. 2nd Ezra 16:40, all my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. All right, so be ready to move, be ready to let go of anything and just move. That's the end of the world mindset. All right, you have to have an end of the world mindset, especially now as things are going to really ramp up. The MOTB has to be established. That means it's time for the markets to calm down, and things are going to take place to bring down the markets. I mean, things are just going to take place. The flags, false flag operations are already being set up. They're talking about Iran sleeper cells and all. The reason why they're putting that out there is because whatever's going to happen, they're going to blame it on Iran. And just understand that as long as you know that either the government set it up or allowed it to happen, then you're like, cool, whatever bullshit propaganda they're going to put out there, and the truth, we know what's going on. We know what time it is. All right, so verse 41, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. So it's not like, oh, you don't work, you don't try to, save some money. Let's say you got some goals that you're trying to attain in the next couple months. It's not that, well, you're just going to shut down everything, but you moving away as if, you got to let that shit go. If shit pop off and then that shit is gone, it's gone. Because if you got the mindset of Lot's wife, you already know. You're going to get caught. You're going to get caught out there, man. All right. Anybody with the spirit of Lot's wife going to get caught out there, man. When it's time to move, you got to move. Verse 42, it says, he that occupieth merchandise as he that had no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein, he that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. All right, so you have brothers that might get some gold, brothers that might want to get some silver, whatever it is, but if there's nothing wrong with that. But if you put your faith in it, believing that that's gonna last, and that's gonna last you throughout the chaos, then you're a fool. So you're a fool for not doing any preparation, but then you're a fool for believing that the preparations that you're making is what's gonna last you and is gonna save you or protect you. See, there's the balance to it, and that's what it's all about. It's always understanding the balance, which we're gonna touch into that. Now, let's look at the balance. Example, you have Isaiah 65:13 tells you, therefore, this is in the NLT, right? Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says, right? Yahweh Bashim El Shai, my servants will eat, but you, right, the undesirable, the 2/3 out of the nation of Israel, right, the wicked Israelites, but you will starve. My servants will drink, but you will be thirsty. My servants will rejoice, but you will be sad and ashamed. All right. So the Lord said he's going to take care of his servants. We know that. All right. We know that. We believe in that. Right. And yet also, again, understanding the balance in Proverbs 30:25, it says the ants. Oh, because the scripture tells you what? Ask the beasts of the earth and they shall teach you. It says the ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer. So while you still have the ability, you prepare your meat in the summer, because the winter, right? The whole winter is coming. All right. So these are things that you should know. It's just that when you live in the type of world and the decadence that we've had, nobody really truly understands how bad things are gonna go. We've been so decadent that it's not gonna take too long. Like I said, I perceive a week and a half, and chaos is going to ensue by the second week. People are going to be out there shooting each other. Week 2, as a person who knows this truth and you have the foresight, week 2 and you out there already fighting to the death, for some food. Like, it's just unacceptable. All right. So the Lord's going to take care of us, throughout that situation, but we also have to be wise. It's part of, it's part of having the gospel. It's part of having the scoop. All right. Now, let's go to Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1. It says, the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. It says, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive. All right. Perceive, going into foresight, to perceive the words of understanding. All right. The word understanding means substance. All right. So perceive says become aware of. All right. Gain knowledge of. All right. It says to notice, to see, to recognize. You recognize the time that you're living in. All right. It says to take entirely, thoroughly, per. It says thoroughly, which is per capere, to grasp thoroughly. All right. Do you grasp thoroughly, where we at right now, man? What we going into. All right. And like I said, if you truly believe we living in the last days, we living in the end of the world, then you gotta have a particular mindset that goes with that. And it starts with faith. All right. And when you have the faith in the Lord will teach you certain things. He would teach you what? He would teach you these things that we're reading right here. All right. To know wisdom, Proverbs 1 and 2, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. All right. So these are very important criteria and traits that you have to have in these last days. All right. It says, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. Now, we want to go back to this word as we close out. And because I talked about how it'd be foolish. The word is equity right here on verse 3, right? Because it is foolish for you to believe that the preparation that you're making is what's going to protect you and save you. But it's also equally as foolish to have the foresight and not make any preparations whatsoever, because then you are unbalanced. All right. So this is okay. Let's look at the word equity right here. Equity is Mayashar. All right. Equity is Mayashar, Mayashar, and plain. It says evenness, which has to do with balance. All right. Evenness, level, smoothness, uprightness, equity. All right. So basically, another word for equity is balance. All right. So you have to find the balance, because that's where the Lord is. The Lord is not in the extremes. Like, the Lord would teach you. He would teach you the extremes on both ends, but then he always makes sure to bring you right back to the balance. All right. So you can make the appropriate decisions. All right. Because this is about knowing what we're doing. We're not just doing things. We're not just saying faith, faith, faith. Like, you have to understand how faith works. The primary things, the faith, the foresight that comes with having, the gift of foresight when you have faith. All right. The idea that when you have faith, and, faith doesn't mean you know nothing. As a matter of fact, you know so much spiritually. That's part of having faith. So this whole idea that, because, Jake will be, walk by faith, not by sight. But you have to understand what that means. It doesn't mean that you know nothing. All right. It doesn't mean that because you have faith, you see nothing. It's just that your eyes are spiritual. You see way more. You sense things. You have so-called spidey senses. You have eyes in your spirit. So having faith doesn't mean that you see nothing and you know nothing and you just walking around just blind. As a matter of fact, because you have faith, you may not know everything in details, but you have more information. You have more foresight. All right. So even the word faith is, it's critical that you understand how the operations of faith as well, and the different levels of it. It's very very important. But that's about it, though. Like I said, I'm not going to, go too far on that. That should be enough. Like I said, take it for what it is to the spirit. I mean, the beautiful thing is at the end of the day, man, the elect are going to be all right, man. And if you're not part of the elect, man, you ain't going to make it. If you're part of the elect, you're going to be fine. So with that, I'm going to say, Kar Halam La Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, Chakodash, give a double honor to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shalom and salutation to all you sincere Akim across the four winds, pushing the truth and sincerity of heart. Because I'm a guy from the DC camp. Shalom.